All right, we are live, albeit a little bit later than usual. It is currently almost 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to We Love Comics. My name is Chris, and I've been waiting all day for this comic to arrive. And of course, it had to be at the latest point when it arrived. But as they say, better late than never. So we are going to unbox for the second time my Tales of Suspense number 39, which is the first appearance of Iron Man. I was so lucky to come across this amazing offer deal that I made with an eBay seller. Arrived. There was a little bit of a situation with it arriving. Then I sent it out to get graded, and I wanted to do a fast track, so I sent it out overnight, and the United States Postal Service lost it temporarily, and they had no idea where it was. So that was crazy. Then it took a little bit longer than extra, which I don't blame PGX for because, I appreciate everything they do. And even though they said they'd fast track it, it was a little bit, it would be shorter than the times I get the other books. So, like I said, I can't really complain. But it was definitely a nail biting situation if you been watching the videos with the whole situation. And if you have, just leave it in the comments section. Let me know you're one of my power viewers or ultra power viewers. So, um, was able to upgrade it. Now, I sent it back because the comic, when I got the 4 books back last month, of the four, the Tales of Suspense got damaged in the mail. The case cracked a little bit, not major, but you if you're going to sell a book, a cracked case, even if it's a sliver of a crack, is gonna, you know, make it a lot less desirable. So I sent it back and they were kind enough to redo it. Now, I asked them if they could repress it, maybe get a higher grade. I don't know if they did that. I also asked if they can do the graders notes because they forgot that. I don't know if they did that. We'll find out. Again, these are minor things, so if nothing's changed, I am definitely not going to complain. But the box is not smashed or anything, but there is a dent or two in the box. So let's hope the second time is the charm and we don't have to try a third time because I don't know if I can emotionally handle the roller coaster ride that this was on. But if all ends up with a happy ending, I really can't complain. So while waiting for a couple of people, if you want to join the live chat, come on in, leave your thoughts in the comment section, join us live, even if you're not a subscriber, even if you've never seen my videos before. If you're one of my paid Patreon members, you get a shout out every single video. So if you want to join my Patreon doesn't have any videos where you have to pay to see them. Everything that I offer, including all of my advice, all of my experience in collecting comics over the years, especially for people that look to invest in comics, are all on this channel for free. My Patreon is for people who appreciate what I do and want to support my channel. And also because if you watch my channel, you know I take care of about between 20 and 25 stray cats. And I say 20 to 25 because sometimes some come sporadically, some kind of come and go periodically. So it averages between 20 and 25 twice a day, every day. The money used goes towards medication, food, of course, spade and neutering. So this way they don't, increase the populations. So your support is helpful. So you can go to patreon.com/slash we love comics. I can either shout out your first name, or if you want your social network, if you want your YouTube channel, or maybe you have a website and you have your own business and you want me to promote your website for you, just let me know and I'll put that on the screen and shout it out. So shout out to my paid Patreon members: Sith Lord, Michael, Kevin, Dan, Herbert, Annabelle, Jason, Kim, Blessed. Then the last four, check out on YouTube, Kendall Kid Comics with an X at the end. On Instagram, check out Scott WU077. On Facebook, check out Stephen L. Turk Author. And then last but not least, check out also again on Instagram, Silver Age Surfer _comics. So if you go to see any of them, just tell them We Love Comics sent you. I'm sure they will appreciate the follow, the likes, the views, or just the hellos. So, let's help our fellow comic book community show what a community is really about. And that's helping one another, even if it's to say hi. If I get 20 paid members, there's giveaways I'm trying to give away. No minimum to enter other than the minimum to join anybody's pay Patreon account, but you'll get one entry for every $2 that you put in. So the more you contribute, the more chances you'll get once we get to 20 paid members. We're stuck at 13, so we'll see if it increases, but as long as it takes, once we get to 20 and it stays consistently 20, I'll do a giveaway every single month. So again, patreon.com/we love comics. All right. We got Andrew Jensen is here. Andrew says, if it is damaged, maybe you are the problem. Oh, well, that could be true. Who knows? But I guess we'll find out. So yeah, so the box arrived. You could see there's some denting and everything. Obviously, I have not opened it yet. They were nice enough to put for Gilly on there, which shows UPS doesn't really care about that. Or maybe they just don't understand French. But there's only one book in here, so it's a very thick box. So I am sure and I am confident that the book will be okay. Like I've said in the past, I send in 4 books to PGX every single month, going on about 8 years, and only 2 times, and this was one of the two, a case got cracked. So, you know, that's why I can't complain, because the ratio, I mean, you watch some people on their CGC channels, and there's a cracked case every third video they make. So it is what it is, and it is what it is. But as you can see, they put bubble wrap on top of bubble wrap. So this looks very secure. So I am very confident. But this is why I like doing this live, so we can find out together. And we'll see if they did any pressing or dry cleaning. And even if they did, that doesn't guarantee the grade will go up any higher. But we'll find out. I do not know if they did that or if it changed it at all. Um, I do not know if they added the grader's notes. So we're going to find all that out right now. So while I'm doing that, if you want to hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, you are more than likely, more than welcome to do it. Okay, so they did add the grader's notes. So excellent. We will go over that. And then we'll see if there's any switch in the grade. From this side, it looks like the case is perfectly fine. So, of course, Iron Man first appearance, which is Tales of Suspense number 39. I originally bought this as a CGC 3.5, but like I tell people all the time, the more you know about comics, the more you can get like deals that can, make or break your bank account. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to break your bank account. If you know what you're doing, you're going to really fill up your bank account. This was a 3.5. I saw it had a lot of pressable defects. When I cracked it open, I saw it even had more pressable defects than even I saw on the images on eBay. Lo and behold, the 3.5 became a 5.0. That's a big difference, especially when I paid under the current value of a 3.5. I paid 5,300. Let's see if I have the total. 5,350. Because I got the person to agree to $5,000, and then there was $350 in eBay taxes. So thanks, eBay. Thanks, government. But we'll see what happens. So does it stay the same, which I'm perfectly fine with, or is there an adjustment? Okay, so it stayed the same. I have no problem with that. Creamed off-white pages, which is funny because CGC, as you could see here, had it as off-white pages. So, I mean, pages can change over time, but, it's not like they got that graded in 1967 or anything. But looks good, and no crack on the case. Now, here's what's really special about this book, and I'm incredibly happy with a 5.0. If you look on eBay or most sales, about 90% of the sales, you're going to find 2 things missing that I happen to have on this, which makes this even more desirable than just the 5.0. Now you can see the red is faded here and here because whoever owned this, whether it was a comic shop they bought it from, or whether a person hung it up on their wall, they put it somewhere where there was sunlight. Now, if you know anything about sun rays, they don't fade every color. So blues don't get affected by the sunlight. Same thing with the grays, the blacks. So only colors like reds, yellows, and greens, for example, and oranges will fade in the sunlight. So if you have a cover that's completely blue, you could leave it in direct sunlight, nothing will happen to it because you could see how rich the blue colors are. But here's the thing. If you, and you could do this right now, you can go on eBay. Most of these comics, for some reason, were cut wrong. Some of them in two directions, others in just one, where it's one or the other. But if you ever look on eBay, look up where it says Iron Man, and you'll see right here the double quotes. A lot of times you'll see it cut right there, where you'll either see one quote or you'll see none. It's not a trim book, it's just they miscut it because it happens with a lot of books. This one has both quotes on it. So that means it was cut directly in this direction. And then the other one is if you notice this bottom where the blue is, where you see where it says who and he's putting on the boots. Well, a lot of these do not show any of the blue because, again, it was cut too high. So you'll only see the table and that's it. But here, as you can see, you could see blue underneath the table. So not only was it cut this way the right way, it was cut this way. So this is perfectly centered and a very desirable book. So even though it's a 5.0, somebody might bid a little bit extra for this book because of that. It's like out of every 25 to 30 of these that are out there, maybe one will have one or the other. And out of like 50 of them out there, one will have both. So it's not a easy thing to find. So, like I said, they did add the graders notes, which, by the way, was my idea. So if you ever use PGX and you want to add the graders notes onto the back of the slab, which I love, that's why I recommended it. And shout out to Daniel Patterson for incorporating that into his business. Use the code We Love Comics Graders Notes. It's $5 per slab, and you do have to write it in on the invoice or a separate little letter you send them when you're sending your books in, and they will do it because it's not even on their website. So exclusively for We Love Comics viewers and subscribers. So let's read. Andrew says, hopefully we get some random unboxings after this one. You know what? I could do one after that, but let's read the greatest notes. It's got fading, which of course I showed, multiple creases and stress lines along the spine. I mean, obviously a book that came out in 1963. Somebody read this at some point. So, I mean, like I've said all the time, and you see that with a lot of books that I buy, most of the damage tends to be along the spine where you really can't see it. But I'll even show you the back. I mean, it's not like if there's anything, it's very minor. I actually thought this book would come back higher than a 5, but, like I said, I'm not going to complain. And I'll show you the front, especially on this. There are no color breaking creases. So it's basically on the edge. So I'm perfectly fine with that. It says cover edge and spine wear, 1/4 of an inch edge chip on the top front cover, which is right there. That was there, of course. I knew about that when I bought it. And minor weak spine. So this was absolutely a book that would need to be graded because especially with a minor weak spine, even with a minor weak spine, you move it around too much, you can detach the staples or something can happen. So that's a prime candidate, even if this wasn't a Tales of Suspense 39, um, for a um, for a grading. So creamed off-white pages, origin, first appearance of Iron Man, got the greatest notes, no cracks in the slab. So I would say all's well that ends well. And this book for a 5.0, if it wasn't for the fading, this would probably be a 7 or an 8. That's how gorgeous this is. I mean, because I'll show you. I mean, look at the back. I mean, this book is gorgeous. They did an amazing job with the pressing and dry cleaning. I recommend it all the time. PGX not only has a very economically priced pressing and dry cleaning, which is in-house, by the way, but they're quicker and they do a hell of a job. So very happy with this. I can't thank them enough, and so glad to have that in my collection. And at a 5.0, that book is roughly, as of now, about 10,500 to $11,000 book. And since we know that they're going to be doing basically they're saying a soft reboot, but I'm sure down the road there's going to be another actor playing Iron Man. I doubt they're going to get Robert Downey Jr. to continue to play him. And if they did, in my opinion, would think that was a mistake because obviously they'd have to use a different universe's version. But I mean, I'd rather have a newer actor and see where it goes. And if that person's just as successful, I mean, books like this are always going to continue to go up, but you'll get fluctuations every now and then. So, Andrew asked for a unboxing on top of this, so let's just pick one. No, we'll pick two. I got two right here. I don't even know what's in them. So let's find out together what they are. So ask and you shall receive. Pino says fingers crossed. You can uncross him at this point. It arrived safely and soundly. Cape Crusaders has finally caught you live. Welcome. I appreciate that. So I'll do two unboxings. Again, I don't know what's in these. So we'll find out together. This person, whoever sent this, it's probably a cheap book because of the fact, I'll do one of them just in case because I don't want to have two like $5 books because, how exciting is that? So I'll open up another one after this, but we'll find out together what this is. They basically put two thin pieces of cardboard, so you got to be careful when you open this so you don't bend it. So unless they have a receipt, I probably will not remember what the price was I paid for whatever this is. Normally I write it down, but I guess every now and then something comes up to where I forget. Maybe I'm just getting old. All right. Well, that's going to be a little more difficult than I thought. All right. So they taped it with my favorite tape, which I'm saying sarcastically, and that is the tape you use to secure a box. And they should be using blue painter's tape, but they did not. Okay, so this, and they put it over the comic. Excellent. This is why I always tell people, make sure you explain to a seller how you would like a book shipped. And unfortunately, they will not always listen, this being one of those times. So they put this very hard tape over this book. Luckily, it's not a expensive book. Gee, many crickets. All right, I'm gonna have to just change the bag and, well, at least the bag on this one, because if I try and rip that tape off, it's gonna bend the comic in half. So poor job with the seller on the tape, but I mean, that's an easy fix. Just change the bag. It's gonna be harder to see, but this is Scar, Son of Hulk, issue number one, second printing variant. So I probably spent about maybe $8 on this book, but you could see that's not on the comic, that's on the bag. So I'm just going to switch the bag. I don't even know, especially when it comes to Scar. I don't know if this is his first appearance or anything. It's been so long since I rock and rolled. And if you know who sings that, put it in the comment section. But just in case, if this is another one of those, let's find a book, a box where I know what's in it. Give me a second. This way you have something better to look at. Yeesh. Label these boxes. All right, let's do this one. This is a graded book, and this is a book I know what's in here. But this is a book I've been telling people now is the time to be getting this, because you can get this book at super deals. People are willing to basically almost give this book away. And the first appearance of the character in here is going to be relevant in the MCU again. And if you know what book I'm talking about, because I showed a couple of these the past couple of months, if you think you know what book this is, and it's not a Mark Jewelers, but if you think you know because you watch my videos all the time, and you know one of the books I've been telling people recently to get, put it in the live chat or in the comment section once this video uploads. But I got a really good deal on this one. That's my second graded one. It is a CGC book. All right. It actually even looks better than the grade. I may actually crack this one open and resubmit it, because this looks a lot better than the grade it has. But it is a CGC book. All right. Louis says, "Sup, bud? Was about to feed a feral cat, then saw you live. Cat gonna have to wait." Go feed the cat. You can always watch this later. This will be the last one for now anyway. So this is a book I've been recommending for a while. This is Eternals #2. Okay, this is the first appearance of the Celestials. So I don't care about the Eternals, and most people don't either, especially with that movie. But as you can see, this is a 30-cent variant. This is a rarer version of this book. 9.0. I got this for $90. So with shipping and handling and taxes, it came out to only $109.99. And like I said, the Celestials are going to be coming forth in the next phase or two and will have relevance. So buying books when nobody's talking about them and nobody wants them, that's the time where you could make a poop ton of money. And $109 for a 9.0. And like I said, and I'll show a close up, there is not one spine tick on this book. How it got, and I'll look at the back. Now, obviously, you'd have to see the inside because there might be damage or something in the inside, but, and I'll show the back. The back is completely, for a book. This came out in 1978, so I was 7 years old. I mean, that's completely white. There is not one bit of foxing or tanning or browning. I mean, that looks like a book that just came out. And you know, a lot of these books from the 70s, when they have that white border, that it tends to have a lot of foxing and dirt. Look at that. I mean, there is, somebody wrote in the date instead of using a date stamp, but that wouldn't bring it down that low for something like that. I mean, there's no dog ears at the corners. The corners are sharp. I think I'm going to be cracking this one open. I mean, look how white the letters are. The colors are popping. And again, that back, especially along the staple edge, there's not one bit of dirt, not one bit of foxing. It's completely white. Now, you do say it has white pages, and they do mention it is the 30-cent price variant. But I think I'm going to crack this one open. I'm going to resubmit that because I think that is, for a 9.0. I mean, 9.0 is a high grade, don't get me wrong, but I don't see, and again, you can't base it completely on the front and back, but the staples are silver. There's no stains. Again, I mean, look at that corner. That corner comes to a point. the edges are completely sharp. I don't even see a wrinkle. So whoever graded this book must have really been upset. Now I can see along the edge one or two 16th of an inch non-color breaking little ticks. But again, that should not warrant a 9.0. And those could be possibly pressed out. So this looks like it might not have been pressed. Somebody probably looked at this and probably didn't think it needed it. There's no fraying at the edges on the side of the staple. And a lot of times you'll see a little bit of a fraying on the corners. Andrew says that should be the only Billy Ripken card you should be showing. Oh yeah, I bought these years and years ago. I actually tried to sell these at a yard sale a long time ago. These are the ones where the bat is covered. If it actually had the words on it, it'd be worth a lot more. My most valuable card, I used to have a bunch of these, but I sold them way too early. I don't know why I did it. But this is my most valuable card. This is a LeBron James signed card, signature 10, graded at 8.5. What year is this? Keeps reflecting. I think it's 2004. Upper Deck signature, LeBron James. It's a pretty rare card, but my absolute favorite when it comes to sports cards. This is LeBron James's first ever card. If you know anything about this, it's a sports card magazine. This came out when he was in high school, and it is actually the first LeBron James card ever. Now, there were three different ones. There was the gold, there was the platinum, and then there was mine. The gold had, I think, about 30,000, I believe. The platinum had about 1,000 printed. And then you have the ruby, which is limited to 100 copies. Trying to get it focused. Mine is number, I think, 41 of 100. I bought this the year it came out. I probably paid about $150 or less. I never wrote it down. But inside is also Eli Manning's rookie card is in here, and also one of the famous female tennis players. I forget her name. One of the Russian ones. Forget her name. But yeah, um, only 100 of these in existence. So those are the books. But yeah, I'm gonna crack this one open at some point. This looks way better than a 9.0. The person who graded this must have had a bad day or they were in a hurry because I don't see. And again, you'd have to look at the whole book, but I can only do so much by looking at it here. So maybe that's why the person just gave it away. I don't know. But yeah, 9.0 white pages, 30-cent variant. I paid $109.99. To me, that's a no-brainer. This one I probably paid like $8 for. So like I said, I don't even know if that's a first appearance of that character, nor honestly do I care. But the main reason for this video is my Tales of Suspense number 39, first appearance of Iron Man. Bought it at a 3.5, got it to a 5.0 with the pressing and dry cleaning. Ladies and gentlemen, I've said it over and over again. The more you research, if you're doing it for investments, the more you research, the more you're going to be able to find things that can improve your books, where you can make money quickly. Because, like I said, a video I made the other day, I saw somebody leave in somebody's comments. I'm not going to mention the channel, but they were saying how, if you're an investor, you should be having your books for at least 10 years before you can make money. My thing is, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, if it takes you 10 years to make a profit on your book, you spent too much. because, like I said, I paid $5,350 for what is now a 5.0. 5,300 is pretty darn good for a 3.5 because if you look on eBay, 2.0s have sold for 5,000. So at a 3.5, I was already buying it at a cheaper price than what this would go for. And then I bumped it up a grade and a half. I mean, if you know what you're doing and you know what to look for, you're going to find some gems out there that 90% of the community will just miss because they don't know enough or they don't care enough to learn. And I'm not going to miss out on those opportunities, and I don't want you to miss out either. So, hopefully, you'll watch some of the videos that I've done where I try and teach people. I do it for free. People have been conditioned to believe that if something's too good to be true, it usually is, and you have to pay for information. Well, I think the geniuses that sell the things they tell you you have to pay for to make it worthwhile, they're racking in all the dough because they've convinced you to believe the only way I get value from somebody is if I pay them. There are plenty of people that give away stuff for free. So, my information is free. And like I said, my Patreon account, there's nothing extra there to find that you had to pay for to see. My Patreon is for people who want to help support my channel and what I do with all the stray cats that I take care of. So if you want your name up there, just go to patreon.com/we love comics. And like I said, if I get up to 20 people, we'll get some giveaways. If you want to critique the AI art, by all means, please do. Positive, negative, I'll leave it up to you. Let me know what you think about the books. And yeah, I want to give a shout out to PGX. Give them a try if you haven't. If you send 10 or more books for the first time to PGX and use the code We Love Comics Free Press, they will press one of your books absolutely free. You do have to mention that, and I would definitely tell them specifically which book you would like to have pressed. Otherwise, they'll just pick one for you. So, before I leave, Who Dat Comics and Movies is here. He says late night unboxing reminds me of our late night auctions. Yeah, those were the days. The reason this one was late night is because I was waiting all day for UPS to actually deliver it. Of course, it got to the very end of the time where they said they would arrive, so I was waiting all day. But better late than never. And there was no way I was going to wait until tomorrow morning to unbox this. I was just too excited. So it's finally back in my collection. Ironically, I sent it in to get fast tracked, only for it to come back later than it would have if I sent it in the regular way. But, that's the post office and UPS. I think it was the post office at the time that damaged the comic. It had nothing to do with PGX. They've been nothing but kind and considerate, and didn't even charge me for the faster speeding, and they didn't charge me to re-slab this, even though technically it wasn't their fault. But if you think about it, it doesn't matter. This is a business that does right by me, and that's why I recommend them. So if you have different opinion of them, that's up to you. I can only share my experience, and they've been nothing but kind to me, and they take care of me, and I want to make sure I help them out. So if you've never used PGX, give them a try. You will not be disappointed, and if you are, they'll correct it. So not many businesses will do that. I mean, how many businesses do you know you can call them and actually talk to the owner? Those things are important. So if you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you don't like it, hit a thumbs down. Let's do today's surprise subscriber shout outs. We're going to go with Louis V and the Cape Crusader. Both of you are today's surprise subscriber shout outs. So you guys know what to do. Let's give our shout outs a shout out. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it is not you, it is not I, it is We Love Comics. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.